I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. I sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me keep on running toes. They gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I felt it in.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. I am one of the three co-hosts, Davey Dollars. I have my brother Tony and my guy Teddy. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing really good.
That's good. We're as you people can see, we're doing another AFC panel today. We have the New England Patriots that we're actually going to be talking about today, and we have two longtime Patriots fans, two people that think Brady is the GOAT. You know, one who thinks Mac Jones is going to do well, and one who's not sure. So, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that today in today's show. Shout out to Ty, who's already commenting on the show. So before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the network. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Well, I guess you can call it X now because that's what it is. It's not Twitter anymore, but hey, it still counts. But make sure you do that. If you're on Facebook, like it, share it. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and click the link in the bio to become a member. I'll go over the memberships pretty soon. But as for now, let me go over these IG chats that we have. So these IG chats that we have, we pretty much give you all the latest news here first. We have the NBA mixed in with the WNBA. We have the NFL. Shout out to Coach Coombs, or FFC, Fantasy Football with Coombs. He has a fantasy football show that he does on our network. All fantasy news goes through there, so make sure you tune into FFC. Shout out to BWT. We actually have Mr. BWT himself on the show, Teddy. So go ahead and give a little explanation about BWT because everything through baseball goes through Teddy.
I mean, if you guys want the latest news, I report on the Yankees series, which right now is not looking good. I recorded a show earlier today. Episodes will be out tomorrow. But yeah, if you guys want the latest news, we reviewed the top 10 picks on our latest episode in the MLB draft. Any news with baseball is going to be here.
Actually, you heard it from the man himself. If you did not know already, he is a Yankees fan, but he's actually on the show with two Red Sox fans. So not looking too good for him right now. No news spreading right now, just like the comments have just said. But we actually just did not have a good series against the Nationals just not too long ago, so not too well. But it's all good because we got the Yankees that we can beat up on. It's all good. It's all good. That's what matters the most. But other than BWT, we actually have another. We have some other IG shows. We have college football and college basketball. That is led by Carl. Shout out to Carl, CTC, Carl Talking College. Everything right now, he's basically doing everything that involves college football because college football is only 9 days away. So let's make sure that you tune into CTC. He has done all the Power 5 schools and did 10 non-Power 5 schools. And he has another episode coming out tomorrow, 7 p.m., I believe, Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune into that show. He's doing a great job right now. His last episode was with Asa on Tuesday. So go check that out. And Asa is also, University of Miami fan. So shout out to my guy, Asa. And then last but not least, we have the combat chat with boxing, UFC, and WWE. Um, Boxing is starting to ramp up. We don't know what's going to go on with Devin Haney and the other guy that he's supposed to be. I believe it's Regis. I don't know if I'm saying his name right or not, but they were supposed to have a scheduled fight in October, but apparently it's not signed. It only got signed by Regis and not Haney, so we don't know what's going to go on there. And then Anthony Joshua just had a good fight that just happened. Well, I wouldn't say good fight, but he was getting beat up, but he won the fight in the end. So maybe we'll see Anthony Joshua versus Wilder soon. Who knows? Not sure if that's going to happen or not, but we'll see. So, in order to get into these chats, though, they used to be free, but they are not now. We actually have some memberships that you have to do in order to get in there. The first one is the pro level. It's the basic one, $2.99. You actually get into one of the IG chats that I just talked about. You also get custom emojis and comments for the live chats. You get members only live chats, and then loyalty badges next to your name, comments, all of that. And then like I said, you got an opportunity to be in one of the chats. With the all-star level, which is at $4.99 a month, you actually have access to getting all the chats, photos, status updates, exclusive member-only videos, members-only live streams, and you get to get in all of the chats. And you also can, you can suggest a segment because we have 3 segments on the show. We got Dave's Doghouse, Joe's Not Your Average Top 5, and Your Done Son, led by Tomo. So you can actually, you can suggest one of those segments, or you can suggest a topic. That's the action that you have. And the number one level, number one membership is superstar level. For $9.99, you get all of the perks from all the other 2, but you also get access to the Refuse to Lose exclusive VIP chat. Not only that, you actually have access to come on the show if you want to be. So it's not a necessity, but you have access to that, and you get a shout out during every live episode. So shout out to all the superstar members, to Jerry, Donnell, myself, Teddy, Tomo, Joe, and Carlo. So appreciate all you guys that are superstar members. And now we can just go ahead and get started with the show. Now, I'm gonna go to
Turn
you.
me up, 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 up.
Yes, turn me up. But this is, this not about me this time. So we're gonna go with what used to be the most hated team in the NFL, to now one of the, I guess, recovering teams in the NFL. We don't know what's going to happen with them. It hasn't been the same since Brady left a few years ago, but they did reach the playoffs and got blown out. But last year it didn't look so good because Mac Jones did not have an offensive coordinator last year. So Tony, I'm going to go to you first. What is your offseason grade for the New England Patriots for this season?
Off-season grade. Well, they're still doing things that are, and it's like the Bill Belichick. So you can't really grade them well because Bill Belichick is always changing stuff. You see what happened after the first game. They got rid of a couple people, brought in 2 running backs, including Zeke. Brought in another off the lineman. So you can't really grade them. If I had to grade them off of what they did before training camp started, I would probably give them a B plus. And the only reason why I would give them a B plus is because I don't think that they really went and aggressively went out after D Hop the way they should have gone after him. That could have been settled a lot sooner. They had the cash on hand. But they're the type of team that likes to think about injuries as the season goes on, and they want to be able to have money to be able to sign people and be well on the cap for that. So I understood why they didn't aggressively go after him, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
Teddy?
Yeah, I would have to give them a B. They brought in an offensive coordinator, somebody who is familiar with the system. Even with Mac Jones when he was in Alabama. He showed Bill O'Brien how to run Alabama's offense before he left and got drafted. Um, and I mean, I like the signings of Gesicki and Juju. I feel like Juju, he's got something to prove. He's known for that TikTok guy or whatever. So I like it. I like what we did. And the main thing, we got rid of Patricia. He got him. So,
Yep. Got rid of him and sent him to Philly. Got rid of him and sent him to Philly.
You're
Being
done,
weak.
son.
Well, man, that's the reason why they got the plus for me, right? Not the Patricia thing, but the signing of the coordinator is why they got the plus for me. It's not so much as that. It's so the one thing that unlike any Belichick team, they were a very undisciplined team, right? And that's not a Belichick style team. Even though we finished top 10 in defense and things like that, it was a very undisciplined team. Penalties that we don't normally get for that team. So I think that having someone to come in like Bill, that's the way he is. He's like, hey, this is how it's going to be ran. This is how it used to be. They need that type of person there. I wouldn't have actually minded if Patricia would have stayed to help with the defensive side, move him where he belongs. Right? He was put in a situation that was basically a lose-lose situation. To go and call. I mean, he barely could call defensive plays. Belichick was helping out with that. When he was the defensive coordinator there. So it was really. I don't really blame Matt. It's all Belichick. All that was Belichick's fault in not hiring the offensive coordinator. You go and get Joe Judge, who could help him out, and he was a special teams coach. I'm like, he's not John Harbaugh, okay? And even John Harbaugh don't call plays for the offense or even for the defense, So I just think that right now they're kind of getting things back to where it needs to be at for that team.
Yeah, I think I remember when they actually signed Bill O'Brien in the offseason. I was like, well, now Mac Jones as an offensive coordinator. That pretty much leads me into the very next segment. What are your expectations for Mac Jones this upcoming season? And Teddy, I'm going to you first because this is your guy.
mac and cheese, baby. He's coming out. He's coming out, and he is gonna let everybody, all these little New England fans with the fever, get out of here. His rookie year, he had a 67.6 completion rate, threw for 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 picks, led the team to the playoffs, and then got obliterated in the playoffs by the Bills. I know you were waiting for it, Dave. And then last year he missed a couple games with the high ankle sprain that he suffered against the Ravens. He still had 65.2 completion percentage, 2,997 yards, 14 touchdowns, 11 picks, and that was with a defensive coordinator calling plays. I expect him to come out and do what he did his rookie year, but more. I expect more. I'm going to say 4,000 yards.
4,000 yards. I mean, he did have 3,800 yards his rookie season, so I can see him getting close to that with the OC. Like you said, last year was not, his best season, but that wasn't his fault. He did have Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, the ones
Stop the cap.
Plays. But Tony, you are, not that big of a Mac Jones fan, but you are a Patriots fan. So, what are your expectations for Mac Jones this season? Now that he has an offensive coordinator.
So let me let me clear something up first. It's not that I'm not a Mac Jones fan, right? It's just that I thought he regressed. The thing is that one of the qualities of quarterbacks is a couple things: being able to read defenses, be able to put people in protection, in the manner in which you need to be, and things like that. He didn't do any of that last year. He didn't. He actually took a step back when doing that last year. So I don't think he's a bad quarterback at all. I think he has the potential, more than the potential, to be a good quarterback in this league. The thing he needs to do is be able to take that knowledge that he got the year before and move forward with it. Even if you didn't have the guys there, you read, you look at film, you look at things like that, you read things read things off of that. We're not doing what some receiver in Miami talked about, how he reads defenses. But anyway, but actually look at film. I don't see how that happened last year. I saw him miss a lot of throws, that were very easy throws to make. So now, could that have been a problem? Because it could have been an issue with his footwork. Could have been, right? I mean, no, it was his footwork, and we know, but could have been the high ankle sprain that he was playing on. Could have been, right? But it still doesn't mean that you can't throw up there. I've had an injury before. I've had to tape up and play with it before and throw with that injury before. I know what it feels like. It doesn't feel good at all, especially if you're playing for it. So, but I expect Matt to be better. The one thing that's going to make him a lot better this year is the fact that he has receivers that's built for Bill O'Brien's offense. All the receivers that we have, most people don't think that they have the collection of receivers that we have aren't good. They were picked specifically for Bill O'Brien's offense, someone that can be quick off the line and things like that. The thing is, Mac has to be able to see that early. Where am I going with the ball? If that's not open, what's my second read? He has issues with that. He has that progression issue, and if he can fix that, then I'm just like you, man. I can see him throwing 4,000 yards this year, right? Especially
We talked about this all week. Everybody do your job, okay?
I can see him doing that though, right? And notwithstanding that, having Zeke and Ramadri behind them running the ball, it's gonna help him a lot too. So I can see him throwing for that much. Now I'm not gonna give the other prediction, I think, but I think he's gonna be really good this year. I think he's gonna be Pro Bowl caliber this year. Because he protects the ball. The one thing that we know is that he's good at being accurate at times. Last year, I'm almost certain that it had to be the foot injury that caused a lot of things that was going on. That's why I wanted Zappy to be in there for the most part last year, because he was hurt and he played hurt a lot.
All right, I'm gonna actually throw in another question, something that you guys probably wasn't expecting. What do you think the coach, Bill Belichick, is on the hot seat for this season?
No.
Why not? Even after he had a bad season last year, and
Bill Belichick. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Bill Belichick.
The only reason why I asked is because some people are saying that he should be on the hot seat, and I heard that your owner, Robert Kraft, said that he is expecting him to do better this year. So if he does not do better, do you expect him to be on the hot seat?
Everyone's expecting him to be better. He's the general manager. You think he's going to fire himself? I mean, it's not going to happen. And he's not in the hot seat. He made a bad decision last year. They admitted that it was a bad decision last year for not hiring him. And most of y'all don't know this. He was actually supposed to be Bill O'Brien was supposed to be the offensive coordinator there last year. That's what fell through. That's why he didn't sign an office coordinator, because he was actually trying to get Bill O'Brien from Alabama, but Bill O'Brien decided to stay. And he had no other options. At that point in time, it was like, who are you going to bring in there? And at that point in time, all right, who would you bring in there? If anybody can tell me that, who would you bring in there at that point in time? So there was nobody there to bring in at that time. Now, he would have been better off calling the plays, because if most of y'all don't remember, in that Super Bowl against the Giants, he actually took over calling the offensive plays and actually did a heck of a job doing that when we came back and almost beat the Giants. But if he just made a bad decision, he's not going to get fired. One bad decision from Bill Belichick after taking that team to that many Super Bowls, do you really think they're going to get rid of him? The answer is no.
I didn't think so. I just
All I
feel like
ask is when you lay your head on that pill at night, I gave you everything I had.
shout out to Tomo, man. He is on point with these sound effects, man. He just knows what to say at what time. But there's a question that was actually in the comments that I was actually going to ask next. And Tony, I know you felt good about this guy last season, but like you said, you still are, hoping that Mac Jones does well. There's another guy in the chat, Carl, who thinks Bailey Zappi is the answer for New England. Teddy, I got to ask you this. Do you think Mac Jones will finish the season as a starting quarterback?
If you guys are in the chats, you know exactly how I feel about Bailey Zappi. No. Bailey Zappi is not the answer. Mac Jones is. There's a reason why we went and got him 15th overall. He's going to finish the season as a starting quarterback and hopefully bring us into the playoffs again.
Okay. Tony, you think do you think he stays as the starter for the rest of the season?
Barring injuries, yes. Yeah. Bailey Zappi is probably the prototypical backup quarterback. He's somebody that can hold you over for some games. Right. The reason I wanted him in there last year is because Mac just wasn't there. They should have sat him down. Don't put him back there and let him get injured even worse than what he needed to be here. Right. Like he was already injured. You can tell where he was playing. He was trying to run and he looked like Peyton Manning trying to run. Right. So, and he's a lot more athletic than he's a lot more athletic than Peyton Manning, and he couldn't move around at all in that pocket. He couldn't move, right? And he's pretty good and he's pretty decent in the pocket. He's not great in the pocket, but he's pretty decent. He's Brady in the pocket, right? I know where to slide to make sure that I can. He's not exactly Brady, but you get what I'm saying. Brady had the ability to move to help his offensive line out. He did that a lot his rookie year, where he was starting to move to do the same thing, right? I did say that, Joe, and that's the reason why I said it. I think that he wasn't doing the job that he should have been doing last year, and he should have been benched, right? But and nothing against him. I think he is the starting quarterback for that team. I think this year going in, he was going to be the starting quarterback for this team, and I have absolutely no problem with that because I think that he is an NFL caliber quarterback. Bailey Zappi ain't there yet. Yeah, don't look. The college numbers were great. Right, he threw for a lot of yards, threw for a lot of touchdowns even for 1 year. They were great, but he is definitely not Trey Lance. Anyway, you got to have. He's the prototypical quarterback built for that offense. You know what I'm saying? Even the kid in Carolina. He's really a pocket quarterback, even though he's small. He's really a pocket quarterback. He was built for that Alabama offense, and you can't. Bailey moves around, and he's like Brett Favre back there. He's like, all right, you know what? You're supposed to be right here, so I'm gonna throw the ball right here. If you're not there, then so be it. I'm gonna curse you out on the sideline. We don't need that. We need someone to be more stable in there.
You have been zapped.
He had to just add that. There's no way he had that in there before. There's no way. There's no way. That's funny. So I want to talk about some of the additions that you got this offseason. I know you mentioned Juju. I think that was a good pickup. But someone that you recently just picked up, and you just mentioned it, Ezekiel Elliott. Now, I know someone in the chat who I had an argument with said that he may possibly take over the starting running back position from Ramondre Stevenson.
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true. Yeah. But even with that being the case, what do you expect his impact to be with the Patriots this season? Tony, I'm going to you first.
All right. So first of all, I told you we were going to sign him instead of Devin, right? I told you that, right?
You did. You did.
Accusation. False accusation.
I just want to point that out. Right? Now, now let's talk about this. So you have two guys that I liken them to when Georgia, and I had to bring them in here, when Georgia had Gurley and they had Chubb, right? That's what they have right there. Uh, Ramadre is a little slicker. He's a little he can move a little bit more, and that's how Todd Gurley, right? And then Zeke is going to be like Chubb. He's going to come in there in the end, and he's going to bam, all right. And once they get tired, you're going to get tired of trying to tackle those two guys, right? You're going to get tired of trying to tackle them. I think his career is going to be rejuvenated. They kept trying to run Zeke to the outside at Dallas. I don't know why they were doing that so much. He's not that type of runner. He was never that runner at Ohio State. So trying to pitch him and trying to get him to go find a hole or something like that. Nah, run that dude up the middle, right? Run him up the middle and do things like that with him. So I expect for them. I don't think either one of them will probably gain 1,000 yards this year because of how they're going to use them. All right. But the one thing that both of them have, the skill that I don't know which one of those running backs are getting cut, Ty Montgomery. But I don't know which one of those guys are getting cut, but I can see two of those running backs getting cut because they both do everything. Both of them are good at pass blocking. Both of them are good at catching the ball out of the backfield. Both of them are good at running up the middle, and that's what the offense for Brian is like. So, who's going to be there? Like who? Like they don't need any breathe. They're going to, check out each other. So, I can see them having a great year. I don't know if either one of them will gain 1,000 yards, but I can see both of them getting at least 10 touchdowns each.
Okay, Teddy.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of brought him in to be that power back, kind of like Tony was saying, like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, put him in and just halfback dive, run these guys over. I like his nose for the end zone. He's always had a nose for the end zone in Dallas, but they really weren't using him as exactly. Yep. Let's go. They like Tony said.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
That's right. Good
Get
one.
out of here.
Good one, Tomo. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, they really weren't using him to his best ability, and I feel like the offense is in New England is going to fit him better, and I feel like he's going to have a great season. I'm not throwing out yards or touchdowns or anything like that, but he's going to be a key role in this offense.
That's good. That's good. Now I want to talk about a guy who's already been on your team, but he has some off the field issues this offseason. But from what things look like, he's actually going to be playing this year. Jack Jones. What do you expect from him on the defense this year? And what do you expect your defense to be ranked this year? Do you expect your guys, your defense to be top 10, top 5? Where do you think your defense will be? Teddy, I'm going to start with you first.
Jack Jones, if he can find a way to get on the field, I think he's going to be effective. But I feel like the defense will be top 12 this season. We brought back Trey Flowers. You guys know how I feel about this man, Jalen Mills. He's not all that, but he comes through sometimes.
You sure about that?
And drafting Christian Gonzalez and Keon White, I feel like they're gonna have pretty good rookie seasons in this defense that puts people in spots to where they can excel. They're not gonna put them out there in situations where it's like iffy for them to succeed. and that's what they do in New England. So I expect them to have a top 12 defense this season.
All right, Tony.
All right, so I guess we talk about Jones first, right? He better hope he's still on the team. All right, like just being real, he better hope he's still on the team. And it's not for the offseason stuff. It's for what's going on in camp altogether. Right? He got kicked out of camp once already. He didn't look too really. He looked, let's see what he looks like tomorrow when he's on the field, because those guys out there last week looked pretty good, right? Now, as far as the defense goes, where I expect for them to go, I don't know. I'm a little more optimistic than I guess you are, Teddy. I think they'll finish somewhere near the top 5, right? And the reason why I think they'll finish near the top 5 is just for what you just said, right? The draft picks that we had. That first of all, we got somebody on. We drafted Gonzalez, right? But that wasn't the pick. That wasn't the pick. Getting him in the 2nd round, like we did, to go opposite side of Judon, it's going to make that defense sick, right? Because remember, they always tried to go away from Judon. They were like, when they ran, they did everything. They went away from Judon because they knew that, hey, he's going to get off his block and he's going to get there. Now you got a guy on the other side that can do the exact same thing. He caused nothing but havoc last week. Yep. Right. So I think this defense is going to be good. I like what they did with Mills. I thought he was never. I thought after Philly, he stopped being a cornerback. So he was a safety at that point in time. I thought he could have moved to safety at that point in time, but McCourty was there. Who he wasn't going to go. He not taking McCourty's spot. All right. But and then I think that our linebacker. I really love our linebacker core. I really love our defensive lines. I think this is going to be a season where the defense is going to carry them in the beginning, and then you're going to see that the offense is going to catch up. So most people think that they're going to be this team, and everybody that's. And I apologize. I know we're talking about the Patriots, but let's talk about the other team up north, a little bit lower, right there, the Jets. Let's talk about them. They talk, they Super Bowl and all that stuff like this. If they don't fix that offensive line, that soon to be 40-year quarterback ain't going to last for the whole year, and then they're going to have the other kid. Yeah. So I mean, and then the other guy in there. We'll see what happens when he gets his first hit and see if he lasts. Now, and I'm not being funny, but it's just true. The kid in Miami. Let's see what happens with him when he gets hit.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So I'm just saying, like the two teams and the two more stable. They got a lot of stuff in there, but the two more stable teams in there is Buffalo and us. All right, Buffalo and us. So we'll see how it turns out. Two teams out of the East are going to the playoffs. Which two is going to be, we'll figure it out.
It almost seems guaranteed that the Bills is going to be one of those. I guess is what's the other team, but
one injury at quarterback can change that.
That's true. That's true. I am glad that you mentioned 2 of your draft picks with Christian Gonzalez and Keon White. Because my next question was, how do you think you guys did in the draft? You had 12 draft picks this year. You got to get Chad Ryland out of Maryland. You got Antonio Mafia out of UCLA. You got 2 guys. You got another guy out of Michigan State. You got one from Michigan State. 2 guys from Michigan State this year, the punter and the cornerback. You got Bryce Baringer and Amir Speed. So out of that draft, how do you feel about how you guys drafted this year? Tony, I'm starting with you.
I thought they drafted really, really well, right? I knew they were going to. So the one thing that didn't shock me is that they drafted a punter. That didn't shock me at all, right? Everyone was like, a punter? Like, did you see what happened last year? It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. I was surprised he didn't go in the first round. But in all seriousness, I think they drafted really well, right? They always, the one thing that Belichick's going to do, he's going to build up the offensive line. He's going to build up the defensive line. He's going to get secondary people. He almost never drafts linebackers, which is really shocking. But he almost never drafts linebackers he drafts linebackers for his style, and then when they don't pan out, he gets rid of them fast.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't hold on to them. So and then we go to our farm league, Cleveland, and we get their linebackers and we play off of those guys right there. But yeah, I was actually pretty happy with how they drafted, considering how he normally drafts. This was actually a really good draft for him. I was shocked. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was shocked by the Gonzalez pick. I was really shocked by it. But I was happy with it because I was like, we need someone like that on the team. So anyway, that's how I see it.
All right. And Teddy?
Yeah, I don't have any complaints about the draft. Just like Tony said, I'm glad they got a punter because Jake Bailey, he was not it last season, man. Like, you got one job, buddy, one job, and the year before he was great. It's like, how do you do that in one season? Like, that was shocking to me. It was crazy. I'm glad that the picks that they made to boost up this secondary. Yeah, no complaints.
All right. So now I'm going to get into the schedule. I'm gonna ask about a few games in the schedule, and then last but not least, I'm gonna ask you your predictions for the win-loss record. So first game of the season, you play the reigning NFC champions in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bring them.
They lost some key players on defense last year, with Javon Hargrave, of course, coming to my San Francisco 49ers. And then you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson leaving and going to the Detroit Lions. And a few other defensive guys that they lost. But they gained some guys as well in the draft. They got Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and Keely Ringo, all from University of Georgia. As Tony would call them, the Philadelphia Bulldogs. That's what he would call them.
Seriously.
Now I know it's the very first game, and you never really can predict what's going to happen. But most people are automatically going to pick the Eagles to win that game. But Teddy, I know you feel a little bit different about that. So Teddy, what's your prediction for that first game, and do you think you guys can come out with the win?
So, if you guys didn't know, this guy getting his number retired on that day. So there might be some magic in the air. So I'm going to predict a W for the Pats. Week 1.
What would you, if I know it's early, but what would your score be?
Ooh, 31-24.
It's a high scoring game.
Yeah.
It's a competitive game as well. I can't wait to see it.
Telling you.
I can't wait to see it. If everyone watch it right now, first of all, make sure you like, share, subscribe. But if you're watching right now, and if you're new to this network, you might not know, but the Eagles are the most hated team in the chat right now. And that's the one team that everybody's aiming for, that we want to make sure that they lose some big games next season. So I don't root for the Patriots a lot, but I'll be rooting for you guys in that game. Tell you that right now. Now, Tony, I'm going to come to you next. What are your predictions for the game, and are you expecting a W?
All right. So if they're getting, safeties like they did last night, giving up safeties, 2 points and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, I don't. So I'm a realist, right? And I look at each one of the games, and I'm like, all right, what's going to happen in this game? The one thing they're not going to be able to do is run on us. Okay, I know that already. Unless Jalen does it, their running backs aren't going to be able to run on us. I know that. All right, so that takes us to the receivers. Are we know what AJ's going to do, right? But is he that good that he disrupts the entire defense? And I say no, right? I say no. Now they did have the best offensive line last year, right? But they had some issues when they went up against an athletic defense like Kansas City was. They eventually started having some issues. He threw the ball on them well, but they really had some issues up front with him. So I see us winning the game, right? I see us winning the game, and one reason why I see us winning this game is because one person, and that's that guy.
You have been zapped.
It's that guy wearing the number 1-5. The guy wearing the 1 and the 5. Expect to see a little bit of this that night. So you're going to see some of that night, because first of all, he hates the Eagles. That's the first thing, right? He hates the Eagles. He enjoyed playing against them because he wanted to go and do this all the time in their stadium. The second reason why I say that is because Matt's going to throw for 300 yards that game because they have no secondary. Right? Their secondary isn't that good. Everyone thinks they are, but they're not that good.
Accusations false.
And
Even with Darius Slay back there?
Even with Darius Slay back there. I don't think I think Darius Slay is overhyped. I think he's an above average cornerback, but I don't think he's an elite cornerback. I don't think he is. Right? I think he can get beat on double moves a lot. I think both cornerbacks get beat on double moves a lot. And what does Bill O'Brien do? He goes and throws short passes, and then all of a sudden it's bam, bam, and he's gone. That's what was going on in Alabama with those receivers. And we don't have that caliber of receivers in there, but Orton can get down the field now. Okay, he can get down the field.
Kendrick Bourne can get down there too.
Bourne can get down the field. So this is why I say that, and then the tight ends are going to occupy the middle of the field with the safety. So they're going to be out there on the island by themselves. And last time I knew, the dude who had an island just put a yellow jacket on. So I don't think that they're going to be able to do anything. So I see the score for this game being something like 27-13. I don't think they're going to put up 20 points on it.
Oh, I was not expecting that. Wow.
I don't see them putting up 20 points. I don't see them repeating what they did last year.
You're expecting a 2-touchdown win first game of the season? Wow.
I think worse, but I think actually worse in my head. I'm just going to go and lowball it. Right?
Oh, that low ball, that's 2 touchdowns. That ain't low ball.
That was lowballing it because I actually said in my head was 38-13. But
You sure about that?
But I just don't see how they repeat what they did last year. I see AJ Brown being like spectacular he was, but I see your man the other one going across the middle and jumping in the air like he did last year and getting blessed. Because we got a couple of safeties back there that love nothing but to hit people.
Bing bang.
Tomo, you got chill.
So that's how I see the game.
All right. So now I'm gonna ask about a specific division that you're going up against this season, and the Eagles are a part of that division. What are your expectations for your record against this division? Do you see a loss to any team in that division? Tony, I'm going to you first. So you play the Eagles first at home, then you play the Cowboys October 1st in Cowboy Stadium. Then you go ahead and play the Commanders at home November 5th. And then 2 weeks after that, you play the Giants on November 26th. Well, I actually think that's 3 weeks. I think you have a bye in between that. So, yeah, what are your expectations, Tony? How are you expecting you guys to go against the NFC East this year? Who actually had three teams in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, it's hard for me to say that we won't sweep that side there, that division. The only team that I really think that we're going to really have issues with is probably going to be Dallas. And the only reason why I say that is because of how their defense is. Their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games. And then their receivers they got receivers that can probably give our secondary some issues. So I can see that being a tough game like it was last year. The year was it last year? Or the year before? I think it was last year.
The year before, yeah, it was
Year before that, right? Was it last year or the year before last?
Nah,
I think that was Mac Jones'
before.
rookie season.
Rookie
Yep.
season.
Yeah.
And we almost came. But yeah, matter of fact, you're right. And we almost being they came back and beat us. That yeah, I can see a game like that. I can see a game playing out like that in a nutshell. But I don't see the Giants beating us because well, they got Daniel Jones at quarterback, and then
some people think he's actually better than what he's been. You know, some people give him credit for what the Giants did last.
Here's what I would say: he has been better than what he was, but he's still not good. Anyway, he's still not good. No, he's not good. And I'll never forget the fact that he tripped in the middle of the field on his own. But so I can see that the Commanders defense can also give us an issue, but they're not going to be able to score. So I don't know how they're going to score in a nutshell, especially, and then they're going to be in Foxborough too. So I don't know how that Sam's going to have issues with that crowd there, and maybe we got the largest jumbo screen in America in the stadium now too. That's going to blind them probably. But no, but I can see us going 3-1. I can really see us sweeping that division, but I can see us going 3-1, and the Cowboys being the team that's going to give us the most issues.
Teddy,
I see us sweeping it. With the only game that's being close is the first game of the season with the Eagles. Commanders, basically a rookie quarterback. And you know what happens when rookies go against Bill. It's never a good thing.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, just one time. But the Giants, they're just not it. Cowboys, I'm sorry, but they're not it either. Yep. Do that all you want, Tomo, but take notes, Joe. Take notes. I already told you in the preview that was the one game that I was looking forward to just for the trash talk. And we got no Giants fans in the chat.
I mean, we do. They're just not active.
Okay. And I'm glad that they're not because they they got our number. But yeah, I see us sweeping the division, and the only tough game being the Eagles' first game of the season.
Stop it. Get some help.
For those who don't know about the record that Teddy was speaking of, Bill Belichick is 21-6 against rookie quarterbacks. He's only lost 6 his entire career. This is since he took over the team in the year 2000. And they are a perfect 13-0 at home against rookie quarterbacks. So that's what he's talking about. Now we're going to get into the win-loss record. Teddy, I'm going to you first. What do you expect your win-loss record to be, and how far do you see your team reaching this season?
11-6 with I'm gonna say a second round exit.
Okay, so you're expecting at least a wild card win.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony, what's your expectations for the record this year, and how far do you think you guys go?
Yes, he is, Joe. So I see the same thing, 11-6, right? I see it on 11-6, and I see us depending. So This is going to depend on how well the offense catches up with the defense. Defense is going to start out really strong, right? But that defense had the tendency, because the offense was playing the way they played, that defense had the tendency to like kind of fade off at the end of the year. That defense is still playing strong at the end of the year. I can see them making. I can see them making it to the second round and even possibly to the championship game with that defense. Right now, I don't see them winning the championship game. Right, I'm not predicting them going to a Super Bowl or anything like that, but I can see that happening. But it's going to depend on injuries. It's going to depend on how well that offense comes together. It's going to depend on a lot of different entities within there. But 11-6 is what I really see in there. I don't see us losing to the Colts because that's another rookie quarterback. Um, the Raiders got too many doggone issues over there. The Saints may be an issue or something like that, but once you get Derek Carr's feet moving like we're going to do, he throws the ball anywhere he wants to throw the ball at. Um, um, the Chargers may be an issue. The Steelers aren't going to be an issue. So I can see it. The Chiefs. So that's going to be my game right there. When they play the Chiefs at home, right, that's the game where I'm going to be like, all right, are we ready? Right. I don't really care about Buffalo. Buffalo's going to each one of those games in that division going to be a knockdown, a drag out type game, right? But when we play the Chiefs, how are we going to play against the Chiefs? If we play against the Chiefs and it's close, if we, I got this one about losses, but if we play them close to where we're in the game and we have the possibility of winning, then they're going to probably make it further than most people think they're going to make it. But I see a second round exit is probably where they're going to go.
All right, and I got one last question to ask, and it's going to be: what awards do you think any of your players will win this year? Do you see a comeback player of the year award? Maybe. I'm gonna ask this question just because MVP possibly. Do you see offensive rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year? Do you see anybody in your team getting an award this year? Who and what award? Tony, I'm going with you first.
Now I can really see us. I can see Gonzalez or what's his name?
Keon White.
Yeah,
Keon White.
I can see either one of those two getting defensive rookie of the year. Right, I can see that happening. I can possibly see Judon getting defensive player of the year. Right, I can see him getting that because of what's going to happen on the other side. It's going to free him up to do a lot of things.
For everyone that doesn't know, the Patriots were second in sacks as a team last year. So he has some facts to go along with that.
So the other thing that I can see is, and this is going to be crazy because everybody thinks he's, this guy's, butt is burning right now. But I can see Belichick getting coach of the year.
We talked about this all week. Everybody do your job, okay?
I can see him getting coach of the year just because of the fact that he has to find a way to gel these rookies in with these veterans, and the way he's going to be able to do it with the expectations that everyone else has for them right now, for him to exceed that by a lot. Than what everyone thinks they're gonna probably finish last in the division. That's a lot of people are picking, and I'm like, last in the division. I'm like, all right, cool. They haven't finished last in the division in years since 2000, I believe was the last time. I think that we're only second to the Steelers, I believe. I think the Steelers' last time of being last in the division was 1998, I believe it was. With Bubby Brister, I think it was. So I think it was Bubby Brister, the quarterback. But anyway, and the last time we were there was 2000. So we're second to only the Steelers as far as falling last. So you really think we're going to finish last in the division? Nah, it's not going to happen. All right. So I can see them. I can see those two awards I can possibly see.
Okay. Teddy, you see anybody on your team that can win an award?
Not any players, because I feel like we're just gonna collectively play well, and definitely exceed expectations. So I'm gonna agree with Tony and say Belichick gets Coach of the Year.
Okay. Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on the show today and talking about your Patriots. I had to throw in a few questions because we were almost finished with the normal three early and we had like 17 minutes, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm about to just ask those three questions. I gotta ask more. So y'all seem well prepared. So that's actually great. Before we
That's how
end,
the Patriots are. You know that, right? We're always well prepared.
We do our job. Come on, man.
We do our job, buddy.
yeah, you did your job last year and went 8-9, but
Oh man.
I'm sorry, I had to. I had
You
to.
know what?
I
You
had
know
to.
what, Dave? You know what, Dave? You know what,
Look,
Dave?
hey, last time we played y'all, we blew y'all out. So don't try
So,
to.
so
Nah.
many so many Trey Lance jokes just popped in my head.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All I know is we beating teams without having a franchise quarterback. So I'm cool with that.
And you lost a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl.
Thanks to
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo. He's in Vegas now. He's gone. Bye bye, Jimmy. But
This is a Patriot thing. We're not talking about the 49ers anymore.
oh my gosh, whatever.
You have been zapped.
But I definitely do appreciate you guys coming on the show. You know, Teddy always been doing his thing with BWT, but it's always good to have you come on the regular show and just talk a little bit of football. And Tony, everyone knows now that I get all my knowledge from you. You know, so it's good to be able to have my brother come on, and good to be able to have my brother come on and speak the knowledge. You know, someone who actually played. I knew
We're
it.
brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
Yeah, definitely just glad to have you both of you guys on. This was a really great show. For everyone that watched, I appreciate all the comments that have been going on. I got to ask the question: is there a hate for the Patriots still? Because we didn't get a super chat today or nothing. It seems like the two of the America's teams didn't get a super chat at all.
We're not America's team.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we never
You know,
were.
America is known for losing sometimes, so I guess it makes sense for the Cowboys to be America's team. So,
They hate us
you
because
know,
they hate
hey, you got to boo your Cowboys. You know, they lost to my team 2 years in a row. So,
We're just winners. That's all.
just had to throw that out there. But now I want to go ahead and talk about these IG chats before we get in our last words. So we have some IG chats that are popping right now, especially in the NFL chat. NFL chat seems to be booming every single day. It's like no matter what, there's something going on in the NFL chat. And baseball chat has been getting pretty lit as well too, but it's been going crazy. But got a lot of things going on, man. So we got the NBA mixing with the WNBA. We have the NFL. Shout out to Coach Coon with the FFC, Fantasy Football with Coombs. Make sure you tune in with that. He has an episode that will be dropping tomorrow. I believe he's going to go live. I'm not sure the time yet, but he will be going live tomorrow. And then also we have the baseball chat. Shout out to Teddy BWT, as you know, he talked about baseball. He talked about his show earlier. For anything that involves baseball, if you are a casual fan, if you are a huge baseball fan, or if you just want to learn about baseball, tune into BWT. You know, he knows everything he's talking about. He's had some guys to come on and speak some knowledge. Sooner or later, he'll have Tony come on there, you know, talk about the Red Sox. So, you know, he'll hear some more about that. So make sure you tune in for that. And then shout out to Carl, CTC, Carl Talking College. You know, he just finished a lot of stuff when it comes to college football. And from what I see in the comments, he's still working on something right now for CTC for tomorrow because he's going to be live tomorrow, 7 p.m. So make sure you tune into that. It's going to be another great show. So I can't wait to see it. And then we have the boxing chat. It's boxing. It's really combat boxing, UFC, and wrestling. I have to continue to say this because it seems like this one segment has just been taken over. Refuse to lose, and that's the Inoue fight. It has over almost 5,000 views now, and it's been going crazy. It's not stopping. So shout out to the boxing. Shout out to Tomo for hosting it. You know, Tom has been doing a great job hosting the boxing stuff. So it's definitely okay. So Carl said, "Don't be married to 7 p.m. tomorrow," but he will be going live tomorrow. Just know it will be live tomorrow. I know he has some traveling to do. He may or may not be there at 7 p.m. But just expect him to be live tomorrow, and it's gonna be a great show. So those are the IG chats that we have. But to get into those chats, you got to become a member. They used to be free, but they are not anymore. We are monetized now. So we have 3 levels. We have the Pro, All Star, and Superstar. Pro level is $2.99. It's just your basic level. You get a loyalty badge. You have access to certain gifts to use during the comments, and you get access into one of the IG chats that I just talked about. All Star level is $4.99. You basically have access to all the chats. Okay. Hold up. We got one already.
Hold up.
Can we get some love?
I'm sorry,
Hey.
Tomo. Hashtag all too well. Shout out to Tomo for the $4.99 chat. I will break the silence since folks hated on my Cowboys. Okay. Showing some respect to the Patriots. All right. My guy Tomo, who's Mr. You done son himself.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
All right. It's all right. It's Tomo. When you go to sleep, I'm telling you, I'm deleting this sound off. You're not gonna no more. You're gonna have to add it back. But nah, man. Today has been a really great show. And then also with the All-Star level, you have access to be able to talk about a segment, to suggest a segment. If you want someone to be in the doghouse, you can say that. Or if you think somebody or an organization is in your done son, you could do that. Or if you want to have your own not so average top 5, you can also do that as well. We've already had Javon come on and do his. We've had Mark come on and do his as well. I still disagree with Mark's top 5, but hey, he's entitled to his opinion.
Not the only one.
Yeah, clearly, it's no way he should be in that top 5. But hey, that's his top 5. That's what he expects. And you also get able to suggest a topic on the show. Some of these topics come from the chat. So, and right now we're doing all of the football panels that we can do. And we have some more coming up soon because we have other teams in the chat. So be on the lookout for that. So now let's get into these. Oh, I can't forget about the last level. Superstar. Superstar, you actually have access to come on the show. It's not a necessity. You don't have to come on if you don't want to, but the invite is there, and you have the same perks as all the other ones. And only in the All-Star and Superstar level, you actually have access to members only videos and members live videos. We do have 4 members only videos already. There were 3 interviews, one with me, one with Teddy, and one with Tomo as well. Joe's his is going to be on there soon. He already had his interview, and then we have an exclusive live video that was on there that was uncut. So it's not something that you're going to see. It's a little raw and uncut. It's a lot of stuff we don't say on here that they were able to talk about on there. So, and then it's unscripted. So we pretty much talk about any and everything. And Carl got some of his knowledge tested as well about some of the players he knows in the NFL. So you might want to go ahead and check that out. But now let's go ahead and get to these last words. So, Teddy, you first, Mr. BWT himself.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on, man. It's always good coming on here talking sports, whether it's football or basketball. That season's coming up too. Ooh, can't wait. If you guys are not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe, share this video, like this video. Keep pushing every video that we post. Shout out to the Refusables family, man. I'm thankful for all the love that I've been getting on my show. We've gotten over 10,000 views so far, and we're only going to keep going up. And Joe, thanks for this opportunity, man. Thanks for starting us up.
Tony?
Yeah, I too want to thank you guys for inviting me on the show, inviting both of us on the show to talk about the greatest team to ever enter the NFL. No, anyway. No, it's always a pleasure to come on here. I don't take it for granted. I enjoy coming on here. That's why I come prepared. because I think you guys got a great thing going on here. Refuse to lose, and I always want to try to put my best forward, so just to make sure that it looks the same way every single time I'm on here. I'm giving knowledge and making, and hopefully you guys get to views you guys. So I'm happy the fact that you guys are monetized now. It's one of the greatest things ever. Um, so let's talk about this. Football season is getting ready to start, guys. Um, Both for college and for the NFL. Um, they finally got it right this year. They got Georgia at number one. It should have been number one last year. Don't know why it happened, but apparently everyone still believes in Alabama. I have absolutely I have no clue why Ohio State is ranked third. I don't know why. LSU isn't there. It should have been all SEC teams there at the top three. Should have been Georgia, Alabama, and then LSU. All right, but I digress. Right, don't worry, it'll change after week one. But it's always a pleasure, man. The boxing chat is is my favorite one. I enjoy going on all the time because I just love the sport itself. Shout out to Tomo and Joe, and you, Dave, for making sure that you for inviting me on that boxing one all the time. I get excited every time I hear about it. I hear about going on that show. But thanks again, fellas, and I'm actually trying to pay attention to this and watch the Red Sox continue to beat the Yankees the way they're beating them right now. But that was that. That was pointed at you, Teddy. But anyway, all right, guys. Thank you again.
Yeah, my last word.
One more thing, Dave.
Do your thing.
Brady's the GOAT.
Tomo, can I get a stop the cap, please? Oh my God! So you do the opposite.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here.
There you go. There you
Get
go.
out
Get out
of
of
here.
here.
So he's right. I don't know who in the world and I heard it was Carl, right? Carl was saying it was Mahomes. Yeah, the guy got to play more and to do that. I don't know where, like, he's a baby when it comes down to Brady. He's a baby, right? The guy has every passing record basically in the NFL. He's won the most Super Bowls ever. He's been to the most Super Bowls ever. He's not the greatest. Who is? Who is? I'm just saying, if we're just talking about numbers, cars me. Look, we're just talking about numbers, right? If we're just talking about numbers, Brady's the GOAT. And I don't know what you're talking about because no look passes. Well, shoot, Jay Strader was doing that and doing that when he was playing in the league with the gun he had, throwing passes like that. That's not nothing new.
Shout out to Ty, man. Ty done gave me a new hashtag to use. You know, hashtag stop spreading the news. I'm going to start using that from now on. I'm going to start using that from now on. Looks like it's going to be another series.
I can't wait to sing in the baseball chat. I can't wait because we. All right.
It's okay. I expect the voice message in the baseball chat. It's okay. I'll be tuned in. I'll be tuned in. But my last words are just thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you guys for coming on and allowing me to be the one to interview you. I don't take this lightly either. I know since I've gotten this new mic, people have called me I'm the chill, relaxed one now. But I do appreciate you guys coming on. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. So Joe, Tomo, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. And let's go Hurricanes. Let's do something this year that we didn't do last year because we did not look good at all last year. I like the recruiting class that we have got. I like what Mario Cristobal is doing, bringing in all of the University of Miami guys. So let's do something better this year. I'm expecting at least 8-4. I'll even take 75, but I can't do another 5-7. Let's not do that. Let's at least win 2 more games than we did last year and beat the teams we're supposed to beat. San Francisco, I ain't talking about you until football season start. That's it. I ain't saying nothing else. I don't like where I'm heading this offseason, so I'm going to just leave it at that. All I'm going to say is sign Nick Bosa as soon as possible. That's it, as far as you. And then Miami, I don't know. I don't know what to say to you. Supposed to be doing whatever we can to get Dame, but nothing's working right now, so we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.